Okay, so can you turn on your cameras, guys? Especially those who have unlimited internet. If you don't have unlimited internet, please turn on your cameras. So while we're doing our class, it wouldn't be too awkward. There are 64 of us, so that's good enough. Alright, so let's start now. Again, today's topic will be about web development lifecycle. So what exactly that is, and why is it important as web developers? Have you taken your system analysis and design subject already?
Yes, sir.
Karon or in the previous semesters?
No, sir.
Karon, sir.
Karon? Okay, naman
Karon,
sir.
sir.
Alright. So maybe web development life cycle or any SDLC or systems development life cycle may be introduced to you as well during your system analysis and design. So anyway, this is just one of those SDLC or system development life cycle that you'll encounter. And please take note of this because this would be one of the SDLCs, the methodological, the methodology, kanang methodology that you'll be using once you get to your capstone project next year when during your fourth year. So although this is not the only one, but this is one of the SDLCs or methodology that will be one of your choices, kumbaga. Alright? So today's topic, we're going to do just that. We're going to understand how exactly this website is being developed from start to finish, from the moment that it was planned up until it was launched. We're going to discuss that today. So if you have any questions or clarifications, then please share it with the class. Please raise your hand or click the raise your hand button under Google Meet, inside Google Meet, or you can also send a message inside the Google Meet and there is call messages. Okay. Alright, so just to review, last meeting we discussed the World Wide Web part 2, meaning we've talked about in details how exactly that the World Wide Web works. Particularly, we talked about the three different systems. We have the web browsers, the domain name system servers, and web servers. So I'm hoping everybody has fully understood what that is all about. I hope that right now everybody is already familiar or already know the processes involved every time that we visit a website or we open up our web browsers to browse the internet or the World Wide Web. Alright, today we'll talk about web development lifecycle. So there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phases or stages during the web development lifecycle. So you have research, planning, designing, content writing, coding, testing, reviewing, and launching, and maintenance. So these are the 7 stages, on how a website is developed. So again, research, planning, designing, so on. And we'll talk about it, each one of them today. And please take note because for your activities, for your assignment, later on, you're going to simulate. You're going to simulate the web development life cycle. So that means you'll be conducting a research, planning, and so on. That will be for your assignment. So please take note. Alright, so let's start. Despite being a generally accepted belief, the core part of web development is not necessarily just about coding. So when we think about web development, the first thing that comes in our mind is coding. Mo dyan na pinakauna na itong bantayan. Pinakauna na itong ibutang sa itong alimpatakan every time we discuss about web development. It's about coding. To produce a well-organized okay. However, it's not just necessarily about coding. To produce a well-organized and successful website, there are a lot of processes and activities that needed to be done to achieve the purpose and goals in which the website is intended for, and set the assurance with its adaptability to new trends and updates. So to make sure that the website that you will be working on will constantly be adapting to the new trends and will be able to give updates to it every now and then we have to make sure that we'll be able to produce quality work, and we are going to use the web development lifecycle. So Web Development Lifecycle, or WDLC, is a methodological way of developing quality websites. So again, once you get to your capstone project soon, this is just one of your methodology theory. I forgot what that unsa tay term ato. Kapag kinsay kahindom pas ilang research paper, unsay tawag anang inyong i-discuss ang inyong methods on how you do the research. Di ba methodology man siguro? Nakinsa makinong do. Methodology. Alright. Okay. The web development lifecycle includes the following phases. We have research, planning, designing, content writing, coding, testing, reviewing, launching, and maintenance. So let's start with the very first stage, which is about research. Researching. The first step in web development is understanding of the goals, type, purpose, and functionality of the website. The following are points to consider in doing the research. So, same, if you can remember last semester, we've had our graphics design, and unsa lay tawag atong process involved in producing graphic design. The step-by-step procedure, if you can remember. I would like to share to us. Yung sa makinumdum, what do you call by the processes involved in producing graphic designing? Diba natin step-by-step procedure food? Anyone can recall? Na extra point ang makinomdom. Anyone?
Creative processor.
That's it. Okay. And thank you, Apasalem. So it was the creative process. So ay kalimutan na. Especially these courses would be if you want kinahan mo mo skilled in information technology. Both graphic design and web development or web designing are two of the most pinaka-in-demand na trabaho right now. Kanang quick ra nga trabaho ba? Alright, so yes, creative process. So same thing with the creative process, WDLC starts with research. Okay, so the following are points to consider in doing the research. We have what is the purpose of the website, what are the goals to achieve, who are the target audiences, what are the requirement or specification being set. Alright, so although these are not the only questions or the only things to do to research about the website, but this one would be the few of the main thing to research on when developing a website. So again, the questions that should include in the research would be basically to answer these following questions. That is your objective, kumbaga. What is the purpose of the website? What are the goals to achieve? Who are the target audiences? And what are the requirements or specification being set? So what is the purpose of a website? For example, your client, there's one client who wants to hire you as the web developer. And syempre, una natong ganaan mabalaan is, what is the purpose of the website? Para unsa man siya? So there are tons of purpose for a website, especially if it's gonna be used for one of the main use siguro is for e-commerce. Muna pinaka this is just my own opinion. This is not backed up with research, but maybe the purpose of the website is for e-commerce. Okay, so what is e-commerce? So like an online shop, something like that, or a website that will display the product that they're trying to sell. That is an e-commerce, right? One good example of that is kanang Lazada, Shopee, but that's fine. Dagko na kay siyang mga e-commerce. But maybe another example of a e-commerce website is this. Sa una, let me show it to you. I am very fan, not really. I am a fan of this website sa una because I really wanted to buy a Nike, kanang Air Jordan nga sapatos ba. However, lisod kay mangita og Jordan nga sapatos because that's the reason why they are very expensive. It's because of ganing talagsa ra kaayo sila mapalit. So this website offers usahay mag-sale sila og mga Jordan shoes. So man, kuare ka sa brands dayon. Wala na Nike. balik tayo, man. Alright, so this is an example of an e-commerce website. So it allows you to sell or display the product that you want to sell. Okay? Wala na tong mga. So let's filter it out to Jordan only. So namo na lang ilang baligya. See, talagsa na lang kaayo ang mga Jordan. It's because that's the problem. That's the reason why mahal kaayo sila. It's because talagsa ra kaayo ang kabaligya. So daghan pa ning gina-display and injot tigo man ako. And pag makakwarta na, oops, sold out na. Alright, so that is an example of a website, or the purpose of a website is e-commerce. And this is an example of an e-commerce website. It allows you to display the products that you want to sell, or you can also process the purchase here. Pwede po ka makapalit directly dire na kabantay ka na i-cart. So this is an example of an e-commerce website. What are another purpose? Unsa siguro ila impossible nga purpose for a website? Anyone would like to share? Aside sa e-commerce, what are the other possible purpose na pwede na itong gamiton ang other purpose? Why do we need websites? Why do we need to develop websites? So pailain siguro nga purpose siguro. Anyway.
Mga content for personal use like blog.
Go ahead, Grapa.
Mga personal websites are like portfolio and for blog.
That's correct. Alright, portfolio, blog, yeah, that's all correct. Okay, so ako, supposedly, I have to prepare a portfolio on my own, pero wala ko time para mo-prepare a website for a portfolio. So what I usually do is, what I did is, I just set up an Instagram account, and then all of my graphic designing works, my web development works are uploaded up there. So if a client asks me for my portfolio, I just have to send them the link, right? But ideally, every graphic designers or every creative professionals like animators, web designers, graphic designers should have a portfolio on their own, an actual portfolio, like build a website or other mga websites that offers customizable portfolio pages for them. So that's possible as well. So we have portfolios. We have blogs. Unsa pa siguro? Na I need chat in chat messages. Source of information. That's true. Source of information are basically just websites that offers information about their organization, just like NORSU website and Pag-asa website, something like that. Especially during katong nagbagyo tag kayo. So what our main source of information since katwal ga work pa ang internet is to visit Pag-asa website, but since Pag-asa website is to kanang grabe ang traffic nila dili dayon ta kasulod, so we use Facebook instead, yung silang gina-post sa Facebook. But that is one example of basically researching about the website. What is the purpose of a website? What are the goals to achieve? Alright, so for example, for e-commerce, the goal is to display, alright, display or sell products, something like that. For portfolio, the purpose would be, or the goal would be to display or showcase the works that you have done professionally. So that is portfolio. Blogs, what are the goals to achieve? Example maybe is ganahan kang just to share your daily activities or your travel activities, or to document, to share, to write about your travels. Traveler ka, so that's why you have a blog. Okay, so first is, what is the purpose? Paraon siya sa specifically. And the next question is, what are the goals to achieve? What are the things that you're going to do with that website? Okay, so e-commerce is, for example, you wanted to sell or display and sell products for an app. And then portfolio, again, to showcase all the works that you have done professionally. And then for blogs is, for example, travel or share your travel experiences, document your travel experiences, so on and so forth. That is the goals. Next, who are the target audiences? Okay, so there are websites. We all know that there are websites that is not for children, right? So we all know what that is, but that's the thing. We have to set a target for our audiences. Okay, so for example, for e-commerce, obviously this is for young professionals, for adults, or just about anybody na maka-afford of mga products, mga trending nga mga product. Portfolio, your target audiences would be clients, diba? Mga possible clients. Blogs is for example, your blog is about traveling, so your target audiences are people who wants to travel, something like that. So again, first is what are the purpose of the website, what are the goals achieved, what are the target audiences, and last, what are the requirements of or specific, what are the requirements or specification being set. Okay, so this varies to different things. First, maybe ang pinaka-common would be unsa nga colors ang gamiton, fonts, design elements. Okay, that's for the design part. And then what are the programming languages that we'll be using or scripting languages? So maybe oops, na erase, balik. We have color, font, base, ano pa to? Design elements, ano pa? What are the scripting languages to use? Let's say PHP, MySQL, and then then other functionalities. And some mga functionalities that will be added inside the website. So these are just some of the requirements or specification that will be set on the website. So this would be part of the research. Basically, you'll be talking with the client itself. What do they want na colors yung gamiton? Okay? Unsa nga mga font face ang ilang gamiton? When you say font face, ano mga fonts ko gamiton? What? Pwede ikaw ra mo gama or sila, do they have any preferences? And then the design elements. Alright? So if you're a web designer, you don't necessarily have, your job is only to design or develop the website. That means you don't have to design the cover photo, they can ask you to do that, but they have to pay more if you know how to do it. But since you're a developer, your job is to code and to design the website. And then what are the scripting languages to use? It can be either PHP for the programming language, MySQL server for the database, and other functionalities that the customer or the client wants. Okay. Oops. Oh. So that is about researching. Although these are not the only questions that you should ask. You can ask more, depending on para jud mahimo nimo ang project. You need to ask more, so you don't necessarily have para walay back job ba. Kumbaga, once you present your website, everything's fine, everything's approved. Gamay lang kayo ang mga revisions. It's because you're able to ask the clients what to do for the design or for the development of the website. Next is planning. So the second step in web development is to plan how the website is going to look and work as a whole. This includes arranging the navigation and organizing the structure of the website. So obviously, since you already gathered the information that you needed for the design of the website, for the development of the website, next thing that you're going to do is to plan ahead how the website is going to look like. This will help you design the website or develop the website even para mas paspas yung pag-design and you exactly know how to design it. Because you can always code, diba? You can always code, but especially if kabalo na ka mo code, kabalo na ka mo design, you can always do those. You can always write the code, you can always use the designing tools, but that will be nothing if you don't know what to design. And saan mo pag-design. Right? So there are two different tools for planning the structure of a website. First one is a sitemap, and second is a wireframe. So again, your goal in this stage is to plan how the website is going to look like and how it should perform or how it will work as a whole. Okay, so there are two different tools to for planning the structure of the website. Again, sitemap and wireframe. Let's start with sitemap. A sitemap is an organized URLs or hyperlinks of a website that are arranged relative to the website navigation. Sitemaps are used for web developers in order to have an overview on how the website is going to navigate from one content or link to another. Okay, so basically the sitemap is just you're just going to create or illustrate how the website, or basically the numbers of web pages that you'll be including. Okay, again, you're going to include or going to illustrate the web pages that you're going to add to your website and how they are related to each other, and how they are going to navigate from one content or link to another. Let me show it to you, this one. Okay, this is an example of a website, and this is a portfolio. Yeah, portfolio website. So this is the main site. Okay, this is our main site. Maybe this is the home page, and then there are three web pages. Okay, if this is the website, we have three web pages. We have home, we have portfolio, and contact. Okay, and once you click home, napasya ang mga contents. We have portfolios, and then contact, and then if we click on portfolio, there are different contents. We have graphic design, web design, and photography. And then for contact, ang iyang sulod is contact information. Alright, so if you click on the portfolio and then go to graphic design, you'll see the actual portfolio, like for logos, prints, logo gallery, prints gallery. Alright, I'm sorry. In this example, para ma-save na ang space, there are only two types of graphic designs. Kumbaga, there are logos and prints. And when you click on the logos, you'll see the logo gallery. And if you click on prints, na-apoy prints gallery. Alright, so same thing with web design. If you click web design, you'll see web design collections. And then for photography, you'll have two pages inside. We have weddings and parties. And for contact information, just a page containing contact information. So by doing this, you'll be able to plan ahead how many web pages are you going to work with. Diba? Una nimo button is imong isulat nimo tanan mga web pages imong kinahanglan and how they are related to each other. How they are going to be structured. Kumbaga. So in this example, we have three navigation or hyperlinks, three main pages, kumbaga. And inside these main pages, the home page, portfolio, and contact, we have additional web pages and web contents that will be included. So for home page, we have portfolio and contact. And then for portfolio, we have graphic design, web design, and photography. And each of these web pages has their own contents as well. And then for contact, we have contact information. Okay, so that's the first step. That is this is a sitemap. Again, a sitemap is just an illustration of all the web pages that you're going to include on your website. And this is really important para you can plan ahead how many web pages are you going to work on, and you can plan ahead how the website are going to be navigating with each other. Okay? Nag-gets lang idea sa sitemap?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mura siya organizational charts, right? Kanang sa mga offices. But this focuses more on the web pages. How many web pages are you going to work on? And you have to make sure that you can arrange its navigation, its structure. Kumaga. Next is a wireframe. A wireframe, also called a mock-up, is a visual representation of the website's user interface. Alright, kumbaga UI UX. Okay, user interface, user experience, or the website's appearance as the point of user-computer interaction. This will allow the web developers and clients to visualize the layout of the website. So this time you're going to, once you already prepared the sitemap, the next thing is you have to prepare a wireframe. A wireframe is just, in other words, mock-up. It is a visual representation of the website's user interface or user experience. Yeah, okay. User experience. So you're going to illustrate how the website is going to look like physically. So not dili siya yung how it's gonna look like, but you're just going to illustrate ra ba? Yung illustrate, yung sketch on how the website is going to look like. This will allow the web developers and clients visualize the layout of the website. Okay, so most companies will hire separate. Mag-hire sila og UI or UX designer, and then mag-hire pud sila og web developer. So lahi ang ilang designer, lahi pud ang ilang web developer. That is exactly in some cases, just like the company that I'm currently working on. Ang company ang work ron online is, ako I'm a graphic designer, so I'm focused more on creating books, creating worksheets, because it's a school in Singapore. That's my job. Kumbaga magama ko mga libro, gama ko mga illustration, mga banners, something like that. But there is one specific person nga Pinoy gyapon nga yung trabaho is to design the website, because they are planning to upgrade the website. So his job is to create a wireframe or design the website. Pero good. Dili siya mag-code, iyaran i-design lang niya ang website so that it will be sent to the web developers, which is another person, and then they will be the one who are going to code. So ang trabaho sa web developer is just to code whatever it is that has already been planned. So ang UI UX designer will design the website and then send it to the web developer para ilatong i-code to come up with those actual design. Galera Katrina, you raise your hand. Any question?
Sorry sir, napindot ra sir.
Napindot ka. Okay. Alright. So in this case, the wireframe, basically you're going to visualize. This is for the people involved, like the web developers and clients, para ma-visualize sila on the layout of the website. So this is an example of a wireframe. This is an example of wireframe. So not exactly, this is not how the website is going to look like, because as you can see, there are just boxes, lines, and then text, right? Again, this is just to visualize. You can add colors if you want to, but for minimum requirement, a wireframe is just like this. So how it's going to look like on desktop, which is on the left side, and then how it's going to look like on the mobile devices, like on the right side. All right. So this is a wireframe. Again, this will help the client and web developer visualize how the website is going to look like. So in this example, I created a wireframe for a website for NORSU Bais, Negros Oriental State University Bais campus. So ang iyang title, as you can see here at the top, it says Welcome to NORSU Bais, Negros Oriental State University Bais campus. And then we have here the logo, or maybe some kind of a text. And then we have here the different main pages. These are the main pages. We have school year. Okay, ako nag-prepare last semester, so muna inani. But anyway, we have here the semester. What are these are the navigation links, the main pages in the back. And then we have colleges, faculty and staff, and then contact us. And then if you click the contact us, it will display a drop down menu. And then we have here the title of the website, and then a banner, and then here's the repita slideshow, and then here is the NORSU logo, and here are some of the featured contents for the website. Alright, so basically, and then we have here the footer, and then the copyright information at the bottom. So this is how it's gonna look like under the desktop, and then the right side, everything would be all the contents from the desktop will be still added on the mobile view, but this time it will look something like this. As you can see, we have here, this is called Hamburger Menu, because naasa tulo ka layers. Again, this is called Hamburger Menu. And then, so basically, if we click on this, kaning nga mga navigation will display. Again, if we click on this, the menu, okay, let me change that to red. So if we click this, these navigation links will display, diba? And then including kani ato ang footer and then our copyright information. So everything is inside this button right here. And then we also have the banners, and then logo, and then the title, and so on and so forth. So you're going to prepare, as much as possible, multiple wireframes, because this is just an example of wireframe on the home page only. So if you're working with a client, you'll be creating wireframe for all the pages that we prepared. So for example, these are the web pages that we prepared. So that means we have to prepare on our sitemap. So we have to prepare the wireframe for each one of them. That is ideally if you'll be working with a client. Grappa Jopert, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Curious ako, sir, baka nang thought, since lahi man ang design sa, ay appearance sa desktop version and the mobile version of the website. So, lahi-lahi po na siya code, sir, sa desktop and sa mobile.
Okay. Alright, that's a good question, Grappa. Thank you. If you can remember back sa atong pinakaunang lesson about web development, one of the advantages of a dynamic website is its responsiveness. So, what do you mean by responsiveness? It's the capacity of a website to be able to adapt to multiple screen sizes and resolution. So, not necessarily that you have two codes. Basically, everything would be the same. The only thing that will differ is on how you design it. So, first is we will design it on the desktop, diba? We will include all the contents on our website intended for a desktop. And then once our desktop view is already working well, it's already been designed well, we're going to adjust it to make it look for the para sa ato ang mobile view. So the codes are still the same. Our main codes, the elements are still the same, but we're going to tweak something. Nato tay usbon, nato tay idungag sa atong CSS and JavaScript. So we're just going to add something to our CSS and JavaScript. Additional edit specific only for mobile view. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. Allow me to show it to you to give you an idea so you can prepare yourself. So let me show you a website that we've created in the past, and then basically let me show you how does it work. Ang sao na to nga mapahimo nato makagama tag two versions of the website for desktop and mobile view. So siguro kani. This is the latest website that we've created. So as you can see, natay folder dire that called CSS. I'm not sure if you can see it. Kani, we have CSS folder and we have style.css. Let's check. Tanam sa nakong naaban. No, this is not a good example. Let me look for another example, guys. Hold on. Fortunately, pang erase na ako ang yeah. Tara. Ay, erase na ako ang mga files ang good. Kaya puno na akong drive. Hold on. Alright, unfortunately, na-erase na ako so I cannot show you. I think daghan ko ani sa unay pero I think wala na din. Naspikas na akong laptop daan akong laptop. Ang ugban. Unfortunately. But anyway, the way on how to do it is that first is you're going to create a CSS file or the designing page. Diba? CSS is for designing, right? So you're going to create a CSS file for your desktop and you're going to create another CSS files for your mobile view. So for your mobile, since everything would be the same except on the layout, gamay ra atong i-add for our mobile view. Anyway, I want to show it to you. However, I don't think you can find an example. Kaya na erase na ako ang ubang mga files. Good. Let me see. I think na ako dari. Hold on. Wala. Dara. Okay, here. I have two websites, two files for CSS. I'm not sure if you can see it. But na ako yung media.css and style.css. Can you mabasa ra? Makita ra niya?
Yes,
So let's
sir.
try to take a look on sa ning
Yes,
website. Okay, so this is katong earlier version sa among mga ginama nga website. Kana. So this is a portfolio kumbaga. And then kani wala siya nahuman. But let me show to you. This is how it's gonna look like on desktop. And if I'm going to view it on mobile, oops, inspect. And this is how it's gonna look like on mobile. It's not loading. Let's change it to, let's say, iPhone SE. Kana. Na-notice niyo ang difference? So, on mobile view, na siya toggle switch, just like a toggle menu, just like this. But on desktop, mo niyang hitsura. And then mobile, desktop, mobile. Okay, so this is a good example. Let's see how it looks. So the style.css, kaning list of codes is, and then the to design for desktop. Muna siya ang code we gamit for the desktop. And then we have another file which called media.css, and this media.css is intended for mobile view. So ginsa nato nga para ma-activate siya only if you're on mobile view using this property right here. And let me show it to you. So this media property, it has a condition that says if ang maximum niya nga width, kung ang width niya is 768 pixels and below, then this CSS files will be activated. So again, this is just a condition na kung ang width sa screen sa browser is only 768 and below, this CSS will be activated. So that's the reason why kani right now, since this is more than 768 pixels, it uses the CSS for desktop. And then if we're going to change our device to, let's say, iPhone SE, the width has now changed to less than 768. Therefore, it uses the other CSS file that we created. Alright? Nagets ra ang idea on how does it work?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So basically, on creating website that has multiple that is responsive, kumbaga, you have to design the CSS file for the desktop. Okay, that's the default, and then you have to add another CSS file for mobile view. And how to activate the CSS for mobile view? You have to set a condition na mo activate siya every time that the website is viewed on a certain size. So if it's less than 768 pixels, mo activate siya. Pero if it will be viewed with 769 or any other size more than 768, katong usa nga CSS, which is for desktop, will be activated. Alright? That's it. As easy as that. That's the general idea on how a mobile is. Do you have any other questions so far? And did I answer your question, Grappa? Medyo taas ang answer that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alright, no problem. So again, this is an example of a wireframe. So how do you prepare wireframe? There are tons of examples. So there are many applications available that can help in preparing sitemap and wireframes here. You can try an online sitemap creator called GlueMaps or www.gluemaps.com, and an online wireframe creator called Macflow. www.macflow.com. Both the sitemap and wireframe examples shown are created using these applications. So these are created using macflow.com, so you can use this for your activity. And then this is using GlueMaps. So you can also use that to prepare for your activity soon. Or you can always use Microsoft Word, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, any application. But this will help you to prepare your activity easier. So I would suggest to use Macflow, especially for your wireframe. Alright, so once you're already done with the planning, obviously you have to proceed with the designing. So once your wireframe, your sitemap has already been approved by your client, then you'll have to design it. In this stage, the website's visual elements will be created. This includes the logos, images, banners, videos, colors, and overall website layout, and other visual elements. The main goal in this stage is to visualize the content by representing the information structure of the website. So still, we are not doing the coding just yet. We are still designing. So ato lang i-enhance ang ato ang planning phase. Atong siyang i-enhance. So since planning is to visualize the overall structure or layout of the website, this time in designing phase, we are going to illustrate or we are going to visualize the elements. Ito mga elements na ato ang i-add. What are elements, by the way? Ito mga text, mga pictures, mga graphics that we'll be adding to the website. We have to somehow see it. And that's the time that we are going to be doing the design stage. So again, the main goal in this stage is to visualize the content by representing the information structure of the website. So remember, ganina mo nahitsura sa ato ang wireframe during planning stage. And this is how it's gonna look like once we design it. So still, wala pa ko nag-coding ani, nagamit pa lang tao designing na mga applications like Photoshop. Photoshop is one of the very good application to use. Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Microsoft Publisher, or any other software, just to visualize how the content are going to look like. Because it would be easier for the web developers to code if nanaslay reference. Kailangan na i-compare soon. Okay, so what do we have here? So we have here the navigation link or the navigation bar at the top, which kind of look like this in the beginning. And then next we have the banner. The banner is just a background photo of NORSU, Bais. And then we have here, welcome to Negros Oriental State University, Bais campus. And then the logo, as we discussed here. Ibutang natin ang logo dito na side. And some main features. Alright, and then so on and so forth, and we have here our navigation, we have here our footer, and then we have our top heading information. So these are some of the elements that build up our organized and effective website. So basically in the designing, you have to add colors, you have to add the elements during your on your wireframe. You have to add the colors, you have to add the graphics, the design elements. That way, the web developers and the clients will be able to visualize it for the web developers to code it easier. Para sa'yo na lang pag-code for the web developers because na slide guide on how the website is going to look like. So for the coders, kumbaga, web programmers, web developers, job na lang is to code it because na nakay-prepare na design for them. Alright, so what are the things that to be added? So here are some of the elements that build up a well-organized and effective websites. So in designing stage, you have to prepare what are the things to be added, diba? And here are some examples. We have, this is not all, daghan pang mga parts of a website, but these are just some of the examples. And examples of if it's used, you'll be able to build up a well-organized and effective website. First is we have here the brand name or the logo. So some companies or clients prefer just the brand name, in this case, brand name only. In some other cases, they prefer to display the logo. Alright, and usually it's, okay, let me change that color to yellow. Alright, in some cases, they prefer the logo. Any question? Wala. Okay. Kosalem, go ahead.
I'm sorry to not because
Okay. Alright, and then next is we have our menu or navigation bar. So we have here our main hyperlinks or main pages. So these are called menu or navigation bar. Next is we have the search bar. So this is optional. Some websites prefer to have search bar, in that especially if they are focused more on information. So for example, in NORSU, nasa like search bar, it's because so that you can search, ganan ka mo search about something from the website. You just have to click on it and it will display the content that you want. So this is a very good addition, but this is kind of optional lang. And then overall, these are called header. So usually the header contains brand name or logo, the navigation bar, and search bar. Again, this is the header. And then on the next layer would be our banner. What are inside banner? We have the headline and the sub headline. So the headline here is Welcome to Negros Oriental State University Bais campus, and then the sub headline is Our Pride, Our Hope, Our Future. It would be totally up to you what do you want to add here. So in this example, ang website nga gi-open kanina, let's see what do they have on their brand. Sa ilahang headline. Okay, so their headline is prepare siya using graphic design. It's like this. So end of season sale, that is their headline. Oops. And then the subheadline are this. So they prepared it using on a graphic design. You can also do that, or you can also just add the text directly or something like that. Let's go back. And then we have here call to action. So call to action is just a link that will allow you to proceed to your highlighted content. Okay, so you'll set a highlighted content, and then if you click that, basically it will direct you to that highlighted content. So in this example, kaninga website, they didn't really added the highlighted content, but the banner itself are the highlighted content. And if you click on it, it's call to action. So if you click on it, for example, we are currently on this banner, and then if you click on it, it will route us to the page that is about those highlighted content. So that is call to action. Basically, call to action is a link where it will allow the user to directly go to your highlighted content. So in this example, the highlighted content is enrollment for first semester academic year 2020-2021 is still going on. Learn more. So if we click on this, it will route you to this particular web page. So that is a call to action. And that is a really good addition to an effective website. So just like this, dara, ang ilang call to action is I think nasa taas. Amo na siya, mo kini ilang call to action kani. Alright, so if you click on it, it will route you to this page that talks about their highlighted content. Okay, so when you design your website, you have to think of any mga content nga imong i-highlight. Okay, and then make sure to add a call to action button. That means when the user click on it, it will route them directly to that particular highlighted content. And then we have featured content. Featured content are basically just a collection, summary of unsay lang makita inside the website. So since this is just the home page, we want our users, our viewers to know what are the things that they will find inside this web page. So that's why we will prepare a featured content. So basically, these are shortcuts to the contents that they will find inside this website. And then some other websites have post or feed content. Kabantay mo na mga websites nga pwede ka makalib og comments, makalib ka og something like that. So these are called feed contents. Nakatry ba mo na mga website nga pwede ka mo leave og comments?
Yes, sir. Kanang mga yung feedback.
Yes, sir.
Mga feedback, that's right. So inana, or another example here is websites. Ang mga websites nga mohatag mo post na sila mga vlogs, mo post lang mga vlogs, and then customers or viewers can comment, can share. All right, so those are called post or feed content. Kind of seems to makita sa atong Facebook feed, something like that. And then we have footer. So the footer generally contains the navigation or the shortcut for the website's social media platforms. Then we have here our navigation again, diba? Muna itong navigation. Diba? Maumanin dire. Okay. And then subscription to email, something like that. So if they want to be updated every time that you're going to post or add something to your website, they will be able to be notified via email. So you can also add that. And then lastly, we have, these are called forms, right? And then social media links, and then copyright information would be usually at the bottom. This just contains the copyright information of your website. So, for example, in this case, Negros State University, all rights reserved 2020, designed by Juleus, something like that. So, although these are not the only elements that makes up a website, but these are the elements that makes up a well-designed and well-organized homepage. In this case, this is just the homepage. But if you're going to you're going to design something for a customer, for a client, you'll be working with all of the web pages. Tanan yung web pages. So that means you'll be working with maybe dozens of web pages. Kani lang for this example purposes, usa lang sa homepage lang ta. Alright, so we have your brand logo, navigation, search bar, subheadline, and headline, highlighted content, call to action, social footers, featured content, post, or feed content. Okay, so make sure to take note of this because this should be included to your website when you're going to prepare it soon. Another thing to be taken care of in the designing phase is observing website responsiveness. We've already discussed it a while ago. It is important to plan how the website is going to adapt to different screen resolutions and orientations. Let us compare Facebook's appearance in different screen sizes and orientation. So, muna Facebook. So, this is how Facebook looked like on desktop. Muna siya itsura. And then, muna yung itsura sa tablet. And this is how it's gonna look like on mobile devices. So notice how the website is able to adapt to different screen sizes and resolution. So that is an example of a responsive website. So our job as web developers, web designers, to make sure that our website will work on different platforms. It could be either desktop, tablets, mobile device. And it's very tricky nowadays because mobile phones have different sizes. Sa una, kay ang size ra jud sa una sa mga phones kay 16:9 ratio ra jud na siya. 16:9 ra jud na perme. However, nagpauso ang pinakauna, if I'm not mistaken, ang pinakauna nga pa full screen, ang pinakauna jud is Sharp, pero obviously sa sa Japan naman na ang pinakauna jud nga niabot globally is ang Xiaomi. All right? And then ang Huawei, yung Samsung, pinakaunang gausab-usab sa screen sizes ba kana na full screen na. And then obviously the Apple. All right? So nowadays we have different screen sizes for our phones. So it would be a challenge for web developers to make sure that the website that they're working on will perform well or will display well on all of the designs of all the screen sizes. So this is called a responsive website, and it's one of the job of a web developer to make sure that the website is capable of adapting to different screen sizes and resolution. Number 4, content writing. All right, mostly it's not our job. Dili na sa trabaho nato as web developers. Mostly clients will hire content writers. But since we are the developers, might as well talk about it. Putting the very essence of audience communications in writing is arguably the most important tool in helping achieve the goals of a website. Content is the reason why people visit your website. So obviously, it's not just about how you're going to kabalo kang mo design, kabalo kang mo code, but you don't know what to add. How do you get the attention of the viewers? How do you get the clients or the customers to buy your products? Alright, how do you get the attention of the clients to choose you as their creative developer, designer? That will be preparing your content writing. The things that you're going to write inside your web page. And we're not going to talk about it really because I'm not a very good content writer. But I would suggest to check on different websites and then try to observe how they write it, or you can also just Google it na lang, because again, I'm not really good content writer, so I cannot discuss it thoroughly. But what I can say is that this is very important because your job here is to make sure that the viewer's attention, you'll be able to get your viewers' attention. Unsaon imong, for example, your website is about selling shoes. Okay, how do you get the customers to buy shoes from you? Okay, So maybe maggama ka og mga taglines, gama ka og ano ba? So that is content writing. Gama ka og mga offerings. All right? That's it. And then if you're a graphic designer, how do you get the clients to hire you? Okay? So you can either make sure that the contents that you will be preparing kuan kana bang inyo siyang encourage. You have to persuade or convince clients to hire you in a way nga. It's not just about your design, Michael design, but if you don't know how to communicate with them, then it's gonna be a problem, diba? And then if you're ano ba? If you're a blogger, how do you get advertisers to contact you? Because most bloggers, especially for travel bloggers, they're in it for the advertisers, man. So how do you get the advertisers to contact you, to sponsor you, something like that? So it's about content writing. I cannot discuss it thoroughly, but I would suggest to do some research, more research about content writing. Okay? Masabtan ako ninyo if di na ako ma-discuss na thoroughly. Again, I'm not a content writer, but I encourage you to do research once you get to the designing phase of your website. And then phase 5 is coding. Alright, so this is the difference between us, students or web developers, from any other people around the globe. Because any other people, whether or not your IT comsci, can design website. Because naanay dakan king paage. But this is where an actual IT, an actual comsci differs from other people, is the coding. In this stage, all the previous stages of information gathering, planning, and designing will be translated into actual working pages. The most common way of coding the website is through the use of markup languages and client-side scripts. There are three major concepts in coding. We have structuring, formatting, and adding interactivity. So coding, so this is where we're going to add the codes, the markup languages. We'll be using markup languages. We'll be using programming scripts in developing our website. So there are three major concepts in coding. We have structuring, formatting, and adding interactivity. So let's start from structuring. Structuring is writing the basic elements that make up the website. This is using hypertext markup language or HTML. HTML is the standard markup language for web pages. So we say standard markup language. This is being used over in the entire world. And if you can remember, katong sa atong W3s, sa atong previous lesson, we had talked about W3C or the World Wide Consortium. The W3C uses HTML as the standard for markup language. Daghan pa markup, we have XML. Have you heard XML before?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but that is just one of example. Another markup language is an XML, but the HTML is the web standard. HTML or markup language. So structuring. Let's try to compare structuring to building a house. Alright? The concept of structuring a website can be compared to building the foundation and structure of the house. It doesn't have any design elements to it yet, but it makes up for the strength and the form of the entire building. So if we're going to compare structuring using HTML to building a house, it's like adding the foundation. So wala siya design, wala siya function, wala pa siya it's not something that people can live in, pwede din silang mapuyan because it's just foundation. But it is used to give the foundation or to give the house its overall structure. Same with coding or structuring. You're not going to be designing the page here. However, you're going to build the structure of the website. So, although wala pa siya mga design, but it would be easier for you to design it because all the necessary elements are already added to it. So again, structuring is just building the foundation of a website or preparing the foundation of a building or a house. So again, that will be using unsa lay gamiton nato sa structure, unsa nga standard atong gamiton.
HTML, sir.
HTML, sir. Okay, so that's for structuring. Next is formatting. It is a coding process that allows the control on how the HTML tags will look like once it's rendered on the web browser. Cascading Style Sheet or CSS is the most notably used language for formatting. Okay, so basically, since we've already structured our website, ni-add tag mga elements. these are called HTML tags. So it would be, the next step is to control nato how this HTML tags will look like once it will be rendered on the screen. So because HTML elements are just text, right? So we have to control, we have to edit, we have to format it so that it will look some different when we render it on the screen. And that will be using CSS or cascading style sheet. So if we're going to compare it to building a house, so this is our house, right? This is the foundation. So this is like adding the roof, adding the walls, the windows, the doors, and any other parts of the house that will allow us people to live in para maprotektahan ta sa sulod. Alright? The concept of formatting a website can be compared to adding walls, roof, and other support parts of a house after its foundation is built. The same thing with website. Once you've already structured your website using HTML, you have to format it using CSS. In that way, you'll be able to para ma-design mo how you'll be able to control how the HTML tags is gonna look like if it will be rendered on the screen. So that is formatting. Next is adding interactivity. To make the website more interactive, JavaScripts are used to dynamically modify HTML and CSS behavior. This includes adding animations or generate data without page reloading, etc. The main goal of using JavaScript is to enhance the user experience for the website. So actually, this is not just about JavaScript. Your goal here is to enhance the user experience. So it also includes the scripting languages, other scripting languages. In our course, we'll be using PHP and MySQL. So basically, this is adding functionality to our website. So for example, your website is for e-commerce. Katong baligya og mga sapatos, baligya og mga apparels. Alright? So you need to add interactivity between your website and the users, right? Because this is a dynamic website we're talking about. So how do we add interactivity? So the customer can add to cart, pwede siya maka-process of purchase, pwede siya makapili sa colors of the apparel that they want to, they can select the sizes. Alright, so that will be using JavaScript, PHP, and MySQL. That would be in this course. Okay, so if we're going to compare it to building the house, the concept of adding interactivity in the website can be compared to adding appliances and amenities that makes the house a home. So for us to be comfortable living in our home, we need to add like appliances, like furnitures. So that's the same thing with adding interactivity on our website. So again, what are the three concepts of coding? Anyone?
Structuring, sir. Then
Okay, we have structuring, formatting, and interactivity. Okay, so again, structuring is using HTML, formatting is using CSS, and then interactivity is using JavaScript and any other scripting language like PHP, MySQL. Alright, but adding interactivity have daghan pa na. But those are the three scripting languages that we'll be using. Alright, so aside from coding, using frameworks and content management systems, or CMS, are the current trends in web designing, especially for websites that require constant updates. Frameworks are made up of structures of files and folders of standardized codes. This may be collections of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, etc. So these are called frameworks. And then content management systems, or CMS, are computer software that allow management for the creation and modification of web contents. Now, once you're already familiar, this is the paradox ka scientific term sir. This is like a paradox because ano makinahanglan man tag coding sir na naanam di ay frameworks and content management system. Again, this coding will separate us, IT and comp-sci students, from any other people who can build websites using this. Again, even teachers, even VAs or virtual assistants can build websites as long as they know how to use frameworks and content management systems. But what it differs between us and them is that we are capable of building websites through coding. So that's why we have to practice coding first, so that it would be easier for us to work with frameworks and content management systems. So what exactly are frameworks? Again, frameworks are made up of structures. So, kumbaga, na yung mga prepare nga codes na, and then designs, and all you need to do is just use them for your website. So those are frameworks. And then content management systems are websites or software applications that allow management for creation or modification of web content. Na yung mga websites or na yung mga applications that will allow you to easily create websites, but just click na lang. You don't necessarily have to code the website, because you can just click it. You can just drag and drop, kumbaga. So these are called content management systems. So let's talk about frameworks. Here are some examples of frameworks. We have jQuery for JavaScript. We have Bootstrap for CSS and JavaScript. We have Laravel for PHP, CodeIgniter for PHP. So these frameworks already prepared, na sila yung codes na daan ba? Ano mga codes na prepare nila, and all we need to do is just use it and then apply it to our website. Ano lang. Advantage is it will allow you to design or develop websites easier and faster. Disadvantage is that everything is already prepared. That means you cannot. It would be hard to customize. Customize. Okay. So if ganun ang client o customize jud, then maybe this is not a good thing for you, because they already prepared the design man. Prepare naman lang design, and then you just have to use it. So you'll be using whatever they have, whatever they did. You can customize it, but it would be harder. It's because you'll have to look for those code nga lang i-prepare na. Basta you will maka relate to that soon once we get to using these frameworks. And then content management systems, these are the websites that this is just websites that will allow you to create websites as well. So WordPress, Wix.com, Drupal, Joomla, and daghan pa na ron karon na pa katong GoDaddy, kabantay mo sa maybe sa Google, YouTube ads na kabantay mo ani kanang GoDaddy.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So usually sila pinakakusog kayong usas mga kusog kayong mga ads sa YouTube. GoDaddy.com is also a content management system and a domain. That means if mani mo design sa website, pwede nimong i-upload po nila. And sa pamilain. I think daapay daghan, but these are
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Grapa.
Weebly, sir.
Ha? Weebly. Okay, that was Weebly. Kinumdum pa ko na itong sa high school pa ko. I'm not sure if naapa pa na ron, but I guess naapa.
Oo, mo gigamit sa phone, sir.
Napagapon, okay. So back when I was in high school, sa ANS, di ba? At taga ayungon ka, Grapa?
Yes, sir.
And nasa ka high school sa
Science side, sir.
Science High.
But sa senior
wala pa may Science High during our time. But anyway, katong sa college, high school kami ni Sir Romy Benalaria, gamat may website using Weebly. And napadin na ron. Wala. I'm not really sure if wala na ko kakuan ba, wala ko kasalayana, but napadin. Alright, so that's good. Also, we have Weebly. And actually, daghan pa kayong mga content management systems. And these are just some of the examples. Alright, pinaka-in-demand siguro, pinaka-used for online workers, o mga online web designers is kani WordPress. Pinaka-gamit yun. And then we have these. Alright? So basically, these are websites that will allow you to create another website. And maybe soon, we're going to use these. Gamitin natin pohon. But we'll focus first on coding because it would be easier. Maybe since IT and ComSci, let's focus more on how to do things the hard way before we're going to focus on the easier way. Because in this easy way, you can just learn it on your own. So we'll have to do the hard thing first. Alright, so once you're done with the coding, everything is done. All the web pages has been developed, has been designed. The next thing that you're going to do is to test, review, and launch. Once the website design and coding is complete, it is important to carefully test the functionality, security, interface, compatibility, and navigation, as well as the accuracy and authenticity of the contents. This is really important. Accuracy and authenticity. Sorry, na-erase na. What? Cash out. Especially nowadays, we're very exposed to fake news, fake information, misinformation. Let's not contribute on kana nga part sa problem sa atong society nowadays. So since we're IT, let's try to be extra careful in sharing things online. Okay, I encourage that mag-goal ko makita og jumping na mag-share og mga fake news. Goal jud ko kay magtiaw. We are IT, we're comsci, we're supposed to be fighting against misinformation because we are information technology students and we are contributing on sharing fake news. Goal jud ko usahay katong nakay maestro pod. I'm not going to tell who, but kusog kay napoy maestro pod ta nga magsige pog share sa og fake news. Among gitugan sa among din. Kay sa din nato dili amo atong din kay bati kaayo nga IT ta, and then we are the ones contributing to the misinformation which has already been a problem to our society. So we should be the ones fighting against, not really fighting, but we should be the ones kana ba ganing not doing, at least minimum for the main, di man ta ka fight sa misinformation, let's avoid doing it na lang, okay? So this is really important, accuracy and authenticity of the contents. And of course, you'll be working on the functionalities, the security, interface, and make sure everything's working well. Alright? So let me share a story. When I was in college, nag-prepare sa mga capstone project, defense may pagkaugma. So nagkuan me, gatukog okay so kay ako may developer sa mga website. Okay, once you will be on your 4th year, i-group mo ana, and then one will be the developer, one will be the project manager, one will be the writer, and maybe some ubang, but that would be the three main three main role sa capstone nyo pohon. So think of kinsa inyong partner ana. So again, web developer, project manager, writer, kanang tulo. And ako ang web developer. So excited na kami, ready na kami defend sa among capstone project. So nag-tyrant mi ano paggabi among gi-prepare ang among laboratory, ang atong laboratory gi-prepare na mo, design na among gi-decorate na mo, mga lamisa nindot na kaayo. Then among gi-test ang among website. Kaya back then, our website will be uploaded. Amo jud siyang ibutang sa World Wide Web. Ang website, among capstone project ibutang sa World Wide Web. So type me dito www.ilearn.com something, nalimot ko sa name na and then here comes daghan na kayong error, right? Na yung mga error. So what we did is wala na mo gipang-click tong mga functionality nga mo create og errors while we are doing. We only have 24 hours to fix it. Dili possible siguro nyo prepare pa mi sa myself para syempre na gawin mga questions na. So since na yung mga errors among gibuhat ato is amo na lang dili kaya tong click og katong mga parts nga mo generate og error ana lang. So, but if you'll be working for a company, that's not gonna be the case, okay? Kato sa kay capstone project naman to, wala may mawala na mo. Nana ba? So, graduhan naman may, if ever. So, but if you'll be working for an actual client who will be paying you, you have to make sure that everything is working fine. Functionality, security. And once everything is sure to work according to plan, it is time to upload it to a server through hosting services. So again, hosting is about uploading your website to the World Wide Web, kumbaga. And the way to do that is to pay for a hosting service. So there are hundreds of hosting services. Atong example nato kani mostly these content management systems are also hosting services. Nag-offer hosting services. They're called domain servers, kumbaga. It is important to choose the right hosting company that offers the exact services for your website needs. Okay, this is really important. Offers exact services. Okay, choose the right hosting company that offers the exact services that your website needs. All right, this is a good example. You are paying for a domain. Tani bayad na kasi mong domain or hosting. And ang ilang gina-offer is ang ilang gamit is PHP. gamit sila o MySQL server for your database, and kani mo yung pinaka minimum, and then simple mail para email, something like that. So if ginani nimo pag-design ang imong website, ginani nimo pag-develop ng website, then this is a good domain. However, let's say ang ilang gigamit is Python. Okay. For example, ang gi-offer sa domain is Python, but imong website is PHP. Do you think it's gonna work? Your website is going to work with their services? Obviously, no. It's because they're offering Python on their programming language. So it's really important to make sure to choose the right hosting company, because not all hosting company is capable of running your website. So you have to check first the specifications. So if your website is using PHP and MySQL, then look for the hosting company that offers PHP and MySQL. As easy as that. And then last is maintenance. A well-reviewed and tested website does not always mean the website development is already done. Consistent evaluation is important to make sure that the website will serve its purpose in the long run. Okay? It's because pinaka-kontra nato na web developers is the constant change, all right? Constant change of technology. So maybe kay naatay mga trends, and every now and then the trend changes. So our not necessarily humana ang coding, humana nag-design ang website, the website is already done. It needs to be monitored, it needs to be evaluated constantly to make sure, again, that the website will serve its purpose on the long run by keeping it updated. Keeping updated not just with the content, but on the trends, the design trends, the website trends, so on and so forth. So that is maintenance. So that was the three. Sorry. Here are some of the tips in maintaining a website. We have content update. So this is very common. Consider achieving updated archiving. Sorry. From spelling akong archiving, di ba? From spelling na. Basta, consider archiving, meaning imong store on maybe in your computer, on your external drive, outdated content. So if na kay mga outdated na content na dili na magamit ron sa imong website, then make sure, just keep it. Keep it. You can store it somewhere, maybe on an external hard drive, or upload on the cloud. So it will be totally up to you. And make room for newer ones. So make sure that the contents in our website are always updated. No? This will keep the viewers interested. Okay, so if ang sulat sa itong website is pang last year pa, then nobody's gonna visit your website again. Nobody's gonna be interested in visiting your website again. And then redesign. This is really important. Design is constant. Every now and then, a new design trend will be introduced. It is important to always check out the latest design trends. So as you probably have noticed, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube constantly change their, not maybe dili siguro ang color, but the appearance change. Magsigisag add of new features, alright, because of the different design trends. So always make sure to redesign your website to keep the viewers interested as well. And then optimize the website. Optimizing website optimizes the website's SEO, or search engine optimization. This will boost the website's rank in search engine, letting more people visit your website. So as for optimizing the website, or maybe increasing the website's SEO, or search engine optimization, what do you mean by search engine optimization? Who can guess? Who can give us maybe an idea what that means? What do you mean by SEO? Or let's search engine na lang. What are search engine? What is search engine? Anybody? Kinsay ga ko na. Kinsay na idea what do you mean by search engine?
Like kanang Google Chrome, sir.
Google Chrome is a browser, but when you say Google search, now that's a search engine.
Google.
Okay, so search engine. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Grandpa.
About the traffic website.
I'm sorry, putol si Grandpa. It's okay. para mamanda. Search engine kanang Google, Bing, sa paman Yahoo search or Google search.
Yahoo,
kumbaga.
sir.
Okay. Yahoo search, Google search, Bing, those are search engine, di ba? Kung kan Google ka ron, search ka ron og kana i-Google lang na, okay na? So you'll be using Google search engine kanita. All right? So what do you mean by SEO? Search engine optimization. So maybe you've noticed, let's say for example, mag-search ta og World Wide Web. Tanaw na to, kinsay mauna sa rank. World Wide Web. Alright, kinsay na una usually. Or generally, o mo search ta, mo Google tag something. What website usually comes first?
Wikipedia, sir.
Wikipedia, sir.
That means Wikipedia has a very high SEO ranking or search engine optimization ranking. So that means kung kinsa tong pinakaunang mo display dire, mao na siya mga taas og SEO. Now, our goal as websites, as much as possible, maintain a high search engine optimization. That way, kung mag-Google ang viewers, possible na mag-view ang ato ang website. If mag-Google sila, magamit sila Google search because of high SEO. However, I cannot really explain it based on experience because wala man ko katrabaho as SEO before. But there are ways on how to increase your SEO, and maybe you can search on it. But one of the good example of increasing a higher SEO or search engine optimization ranking is to make sure that you'll be hosting services that secured socket layer or the secured nga HTTP. So what do you mean by secured? For example, if you're going to click this, na siya HTTPS, meaning na siya secured socket layer, SSL. Hold on, nag-loading pa siya. But if you see HTTPS here, okay, that's an ideal thing to do if you will be hosting a website. Make sure that the website that we'll be paying for, or the web hosting service that we'll be paying for, should have a secured socket layer. So para na siya HTTPS, and most of the time that will also increase our ranking in search engine optimization, or search engines rather. Okay, so this will boost the website's rank in search engines, letting more people visit your website. So that is optimize the website. So there are 3 tips in maintaining website. Again, content update, redesign, and optimizing the website. All right, so that will be all for today. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, guys, before we end? Wala.
Excuse me, sir.
Go ahead. Kinsa to? Oh, katana sa screen.
Sir.
Go ahead. Gemma Cadalso, go ahead.
Dili siya regarding sa kuan, sir, pero dili po ka message na sa kuan, sir, GC.
Kaya nga naman.
Wala po ko kadalon, sir.
Sa error nga magawa.
Same ta Gemma, mag-error po. Kanang gabi raman ni.
Unsa error?
na, sir.
Unsa error?
Kuan, sir, kanang you can't, kanang murag remove na ka, pero
Mura ka
remove.
Mo ba? Uy, wala biya ko
Yes, sir,
mo ba?
Naka-experience ko
Murag bag sa messenger na puti.
No,
Bagra na siya.
ako po do sa
Bag na pala.
ITS 300 dili po ka message.
Bag na.
Pero sa ITS 300 nga section A maka-message ra ko. Pero sa 300 section B dili, wala bitaw. Wala. Chukoy idea nga ano ni.
Last night rago na sir, magkabuang ning messenger.
Amo ba? May ganin naka-message pa ko niyo daan. Especially section B. And nansa na nato ni ron.
I-try ra gikuan, i-clear data.
Sa clear data or clear cache. Sige, slay na to na. Na lang sa clear cache lang sa try na to or uninstall reinstall messenger. Try na to na. Mura man usually mo gana jud. Uninstall or install, and let's see if it works. Okay, thanks for letting me know, miss. And then lang kay sa section B dili ko ka message, sa section B sa A maka-message sila. So later on mo upload kog update ari na lang sa Google Classroom ha. Sa Google Classroom later on if gyapon ta ka message dito sa PCAS PC, I will upload katong mga updates ba, i-upload na lang nako dire sa Google Classroom. So please check your Google Classroom every now and then, or might as well turn on the notification na lang yun sa inyong Google Classroom, okay?
Okay, sir.
Alright,
Thank
so
you.
for your assignment, wala pa na ako na-prepare pero this is how it's gonna look like. Hold on. Pero I think work rin niya siya kung sa desktop siguro, I'm not sure. So for your assignment, this is not yet done, but for your assignment, here's what you're going to do. Tara. So we are going, makita, mabasa na? Let me increase it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Mag-boom.
Okay. Alright, so assignment number 4. The web development lifecycle. In this activity, you are going to develop a website, which is any website, where you are going to be the client and the web developer. So ganina atong discussed, we are trying to simulate, we discuss it in a way na naila separate na client and kamo ang developer. But this time, you will be the client, you'll also be the developer. So you'll have an alter ego, kumbaga. As the client, you have the freedom to specify the output, provide all the necessary data needed for web development. And as the web developer, you are going to deliver the output required by the client. So you're going to set the requirements for your website as client, and then as a developer, you are going to deliver the output prepared by you. You are going to simulate the web development lifecycle from the research to designing stage only. So since kung di pa nakabalo mo code, sa designing stage sa takutob, refer to the format below. So here, stage 1. Designing pero kutob ra kog planning. Sige, wala ilabot ang designing di ay guys, kutob ra sa planning. So instead of para dali ra pod, so instead of designing, kutob ta sa planning lang. So just follow this guide. So stage 1, research. Write a short description of the following based on the following. What is the purpose of the website? What are goals to achieve? Who are the target audiences? And then napay kulang usa ka question sa to. What are the specifications? Okay, outrohan rin ako ni guys, don't worry. I'll upload it later on. Again sa Google Classroom. I'll update this because na mga kulang. Alright. And then stage 2, prepare the following: sitemap and wireframe. So on stage 1, you'll be the client. And then on stage 2, you'll be the web developer. But you're just going to prepare the sitemap and wireframe. And then compile your work on a Word document file or attach the screenshot of your work from spelling. For sitemap and wireframe, you can use any word processing software or photo editing apps. Or you can use Glue Maps para sa yon, kataong gigamang example kanina. For sitemaps and Mockflow for wireframes. You can also use any online sitemap and wireframe creator website or apps. Alright, there are other applications for this, but you can always use this one. Alright, so again, you'll be the client, you'll be the developer. For the first stage, you'll be the client. For the second stage, you'll be the developer. Alright, do you have any questions regarding the assignment? Pwede mangayo sa imong slides here. Of course, di ba nihatag ko yung links before? Nihatag ko link. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Click
Yes,
ra to. I'll send it later on again, but i-click lang tong link, and then all the presentation files are uploaded there. Kaniwa pa na ako na-upload niyo katong last. Thanks for reminding me. But I'll upload all the presentation files there. Okay? So you can choose. Natoy ITS 300, natoy ITS 303 dito para sa animation. Right? Any other questions, guys?
Excuse me, sir.
Go ahead. Ako sara.
What if ang website, sir, like wala siya naka-program for desktop view ra siya, but wala siya wala yung certain sa CSS niya, wala siya for mobile view, like unsa siya sa front end anang sa user, sir?
Okay, that's a good question, miss. Mahitabuan na gyud if dili mo designan siya for CSS is makalapaw-lapaw ang mga graphics, because the website is trying to render it for as a desktop man, pero you're viewing it on mobile, and we all know na ang desktop ug ang mobile view na lahi-lahi siya screen size, di ba? Ang desktop is na landscape and mobile is portrait, di ba? So just imagine the browser is trying to render it as desktop, although your phone is mobile or your device that you're viewing is mobile. So mahitabo is may ma-stretch, magkalapaw-lapaw ang graphics, or something like that. So I cannot, let me see if naba ko example sa website na gigama before, sa una pa nga na ay nga walay CSS. Let me see. Try lang na ko na, okay. Kani kay sa mga estudyante man ni sa una, let's check it. Kani kay wala dyan ini. Kani trabaho sa mga estudyante sa una nang graduate na ron. Open tag usa ko na ba? Let's check if kuan ba ni naka CSS ba nilang trabaho. Oops. Ay si Akabal. Okay, and so muna ilang trabaho. Kaluya. Inspect. Let's see. Mobile. Muna yung mobile, dili siya makita. So, let's check. Let's see if napabailain. Okay, let's try natin ito. Okay, so muna yung website. Let's check if okay, it's not really obvious, pero as you can see, tanawa ang koan. I'm not sure if makita ba niyo. Let's zoom in. Alright. Kabantay mo, kani ang iyang navigation na nasa ubos, na nasa tunga. Di ba? Ang iyang logo kinabot na sa taas. Nana ba? That's a problem if you're not going to design it for, optimize it for mobile view. Then it's not gonna be very good looking if you're going to view it on mobile. Since the student designed it for desktop man. So that's a problem if you're going to design it, going to design a website. Make sure that you'll be able to design it for multiple platforms using CSS. So you have to make sure that the website is going to look good, not just on desktop, but on all platforms like mobile as well. So that's the problem, Ms. Sakosalan, if dili ta mo design use on specific for mobile, then magkalapaw-lapaw, magkahiwi-hiwi na ma-stretch ang atong graphics, something like that. Alright?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. And this is for everybody. Our goal here, while we're designing, is just not to design for single web page or to single platform alone, but for all the platforms possible. Alright? Any other questions, guys? Ay, wala ko na-erase ang mga...
None, sir.
Alright. Okay. Later on, if dili gyapon ta ka message sa Messenger, just check on our Google Classroom na lang. I'll upload all the necessary things that we'll be needing, especially the updates, until such time that we'll be able to send a message. Again, right now, ITS 300, dili ko ka message sa uban nga klase ba? Yes. Yeah, so ITS 300 nga section B ra. Na, section B ra ko ang message. Alright. But anyway, later on, I'm going to upload the assignment. But basically, those are the assignments. So, the deadline would be, I'll give you exactly 1 week. So, itaas-taas man siya. Deadline would be the 4th of October next week. Alright? 4th October next week. 11:59 again. Alright? Do you have any other questions before we end? Dana?
None, sir.
Okay, if that's the case, kindly turn on your camera rules. Alright. By the way, if makita mo nga nag-camera tanan, please take a screenshot po. Then send sa GC. Pali, okay. Sa dili mo render tanan nga kwan sa akong end. Again guys, kaning picture na to, dire ang attendance agad. Check na kung attendance baya ganina do. I'm going to show it to you later on. But the attendance, this screenshots or kaning picture taking is just for document purposes. We are required to submit pictures, screenshots every time na mo para magsweldo mi kung mga. That's why. Anyway, so ready? Sige, 3, 2, 1, Smile. Okay, all right. So I'll see you next week, guys, and please work on your assignment and assessment as soon as possible. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for.
Bye,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Bye,
sir. Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Ay, sir,
So man.
pwede pa pwede pa ko maka-answer atong sa quiz, sir, na wa mo gud ako kabantay ito, sir.
Kuan lang, actually, daghan mo. I-take note lang, din before ma-end ang semester, dungano dito mo tanan.
Ah, sige, sir.
Dungano
Salamat,
lang
sir.
na tanan. Pag i-take note rin yung sa itong mga assessment na wala nyo na-take. Dungano rin nato pohon pag-end sa
Ah,
semester.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Not necessarily pag-end, but before mo end.
Ah,
Para madungan. Sige. Ay, bye-bye.